gosh. Okay, right then. I need to like close my eyes and breathe in control this before we go.
Take your time.
Okay. Do you want to close your eyes and breathe inside so you can like... Let's go. Hey guys, we're back at you with a new video, and today we are joined with the lovely Pete Yardley, a personal trainer from the West Midlands. So if you're looking to take your personal training to the next level, holler at Pete Yardley. And today we're going to be discussing the 5 tips on how to have the best sleep from Pete. But before we start, we've got to ask Pete a question.
Okay.
If you were to eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be and why?
Oh wow, one food. Does it have to be a healthy food?
It could be any food you like.
Okay, well, I mean, if I'm going to go for a healthy food, I probably should go for something like avocado, which I know that you've recently gotten more involved with. But I don't really like avocado as much as I like chocolate, so maybe we'll go for chocolate.
Okay, chocolate. That's Pete's food that he would eat for the rest of the
Maybe dark chocolate, because apparently that's a lot healthier for you.
Gotta
as
go
well.
with the healthier version. Dark chocolate. Okay, so let's go straight into the tips. Tip number 1.
Okay, so in order to get the best sleep, obviously there are lots of things that you can do, but one of the major things that I feel that's really important is to minimise what's called blue light exposure. So we're recording this video right now on my iPad, and I don't know whether you can tell Sana there, but there's a bit of an orange tint on the iPad as you're looking at it, yeah?
Yeah, just a little bit.
So that orange tint is because I've put the iPad in something called night shift mode. So what that does is it prevents there being quite as much blue light coming through the screen, which can have a real effect on the way that you sleep. So I guess that would be my first tip. You can shift your iPad or iPhone or other electrical device as well into a more orange or red pattern of lighting, and that will help you to drift off to sleep better.
Awesome tip. So put your phone on night mode or iPad or whatever.
Yep.
Tip number 2.
Tip number 2 is all about exercise, really. So you can minimise the amount of exercise you're doing around falling asleep to help with drifting off to sleep. If you do a lot of exercise just before you try and go to bed, then probably what you'll do is you'll get really het up and you'll get very excitable, and your hormones will be thrown out of whack, and that can keep you awake at night. So anybody who struggles to sleep at night, I would say that they maybe want to think about when they're exercising to time that correctly.
Yeah, so prioritise your exercise at the right time. What time would you say is best for people to do their exercise so they have a good sleep?
Well, certainly not within an hour or so of falling asleep. That can't always be the case. I mean, I do see some people for personal training right up until 10 o'clock at night, so that's just down to personal circumstances. But I'd probably say that if you can get to sleep at maybe 10 o'clock, and if you exercise no later than 8 in those circumstances, you should be absolutely fine.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to say the next tip. This tip Pete told me like a couple of weeks after we met. It's box breathing.
Yeah.
It's just a way of controlling your breathing in a rhythm pattern, so your breathing like relaxes and calms down. And you can go on YouTube, search box breathing, and practice that anytime before you go to sleep, and it works really well, and you'll be having the best sleep ever.
Yeah, it's a really good one.
It's like my favourite one. And the second one, which is my favourite too, is like scents and aromas. So lavender spray and what's that thing called? Oil diffuser.
Yeah, you can use an essential oil diffuser. Lavender's a particularly good one for helping to fall asleep for sure.
Yeah, so put all of that in your room, lavender spray, the aromas, and you're having the best sleep too. And we've got Pete with the last tip.
The last tip is about the way that you kind of hold your body when you're sleeping, so the position that you sleep in. So there's some research that suggests that sleeping on your left-hand side is actually better for a number of reasons. One kind of quite interesting reason I always think is that a lot of people are right-handed, so if you are right-handed, there's an argument to say that falling asleep on your left side is better because you will just generally feel a lot more comfortable on that side, because your right hand, which is your dominant strong hand, will be free in order to kind of react to any additional kind of stimulus that's that's going on around when you do fall asleep. So if I'm lying on my side, this side here,
Yeah.
okay, and then maybe there's a bang at night, or whether there's somebody who walks into the room and I need to maybe defend myself. So I'll be, I'll be a lot better off with my right hand there. So I don't know how much validity there is in that, but that may well have something involved with it. But also when you lie on your left hand side, it helps your digestive system to hold on to the food that you've eaten during the day properly and digest that properly, and there's no sort of spilling back through the valves of the digestive tract.
That's awesome. So sleep on your left side so you can have a better sleep. 1 second, let me just open my window. So one thing for people that are like at the gym, who are struggling to stay consistent with their exercise and like healthy eating, what advice would you give to them?
The main thing that I'd really go to is something that I've been thinking about today, actually, now you mention it. I wrote a blog post earlier today which will come out in a few days' time.
Sign up to Pete's newsletter.
So yeah, you can sign up to the newsletter.
It'll be in the description below.
Have a little look at that. The most recent blog post, which isn't up yet but will be, as I say, in the next few days, is all about how you can really motivate yourself to exercise more. And it's really around how you can talk yourself into exercising through finding exercises that you particularly enjoy. The best exercise program that's out there and the best nutritional program that's out there is actually the one that you are most likely to stick to for the most for the longest amount of time. So if you dislike those avocados that we talked about earlier on, certainly don't include them in your nutritional diet plan. And the same goes for particular exercises. So if there's an exercise that I really dislike, I'm probably not going to do that exercise. Right. So I may as well leave that out of my plan altogether, because if putting that exercise into my program means that I'll dislike it so much that it'll stop me from actually turning up to the gym,
so
that's obviously to the detriment.
That you love.
Yeah, that you love. Obviously, you've got to make sure that certain movements are involved. So for those of us who have the ability to get down into a deep squat, for example, maybe big movements wherever possible. With Sana, what we do is lots of rows. It's got that movement, got to get the rows in there, and we do some presses as well. So we're trying to do those bigger movements that will burn more calories and build better strength, rather than some of the tinier movements such as curls, which we do as well, but maybe prioritising the rows in the instance of Sana here.
Awesome. That's great. So that's the end of this video. So you can check out Pete's blog down below, Sleep 101, which will have more detailed tips in this area of sleep. So thank you, Pete, for joining the 5 tips on how to have the best sleep.
No problem.
And also you'll be sleeping like a superhero, as Pete says, if you do these things. So yeah. Peace.
See ya.
You've got to do the looking song. There we go. Awesome.